Rain is the early story for the ASUN Women's Tennis Championships as play has been pushed back 3 hours and there is a threat of more rain later in the day. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm David Moulton. This is the third year in a row that FGCU and North Florida meet for the ASUN Women's title. This year, the Eagles are the top seed, having won the regular season matchup. Joined by former player and coach J. Webb Horton. Is the third time the charm for the Eagles?
Well, I'm sure the Eagles want a repeat of what happened 8 days ago where they were able to beat North Florida 4-3. It's going to come down to the doubles point, who can win that doubles point and give that team the energy boost that they need to get the other 3 points to become the ASUN champion.
And those matches will get underway shortly. College tennis rules a little bit different. A couple of biggies. First off, there is no ads. They get to deuce. Next point wins the game. And then also in the doubles, 3 matches, 1 set each. First school to win 2 of the matches get the valuable point. These teams know one another well. These players know one another well. What do you feel is the key with these 9 matchups?
Well, as you said, David, they know each other. Who can execute their game plan, penetrate to weaknesses, and then execute under pressure.
For the Eagles, duo of Julianna and Julianna Curtis. Takes on the Ospreys, Luis Inter.
And the matches start with doubles, 3 matches, a set apiece. First school to win 2 of the matches wins the valuable point.
You know, one of the things about college dubs, Dave, is you want to really set the tone by getting that point, because then all you got to do is go 50% in singles and you win the match 4-3.
You see the second doubles match for FGCU, Maya Ornberg. She has been sick throughout the week, only played doubles yesterday. We'll see whether or not she plays both doubles and singles today, but she starts off by joining Brianna Stampley to take on Montano and Gomez in the second doubles match. And you mentioned it a moment ago, Jay Webb. You know, these teams, not only do they know one another well, they know one another really well. They played 8 days ago.
You know, one of the things about tennis is that you keep a mental note, and some coaches even keep a written note of tendencies of teams. Like, where do they serve on break point? Do they have a tendency to move or poach on certain situations? So I'm sure that both coaches have their notes, and they've talked to their players about the tendencies of the teams that they're playing today.
When they played here at FGCU 8 days ago, it was the Eagles that won 2 of the 3 doubles matches to take the valuable point. But as you mentioned, these matches are so close. The one UNF doubles win was by their third group, Valdez and Gartner, and they handed Kelly and Forster for FGCU only their second loss of the year.
Well, Valdez and Gartner, I mean, they're 12-3 this year, so that's a pretty solid 3 doubles team. And I'm sure that Coach Vernon has maybe some things that she wants, Kelly and Forster to do to maybe turn around and rebound that thing.
Yesterday in the doubles, FGCU got the point against Stetson, winning 2 matches. They were losing in a match, but the 2 wins came about before the third match could be completed. Meanwhile, UNF also got the point in their sweep of NJIT as their first and third doubles teams were victorious yesterday.
And what people have to understand is when you're in the tournament situation, it's called clinch, because you've got matches and times, and like when you're in a situation with weather, you really want to get the matches in so the teams don't have to have extra cost and then get in that waiting mode like the men were last night.
Take me psychologically when FGCU beat UNF 8 days ago. That was the first ASUN match that the Ospreys had lost in over 4 years, a 30-match unbeaten streak. In a strange way, Jay Webb, does it take a little bit of the pressure off UNF?
Well, I think so. Coach Cobra is an excellent coach, and I was listening to her post-game conversation with her team, and it was just like about, hey, enjoy the moment, relax. Tomorrow is our day to bring that title home. So I think that they are confident and relaxed. And sometimes, like you said, David, you lose that, it sort of takes the pressure off you a little bit because it's hard to be perfect in any sport.
Well, and instead of they are defending ASUN champions, they've won the last two, but they're not having to defend the streak, and so they also get a chance to get a little bit of payback. Meanwhile, for FGCU, we just followed this in women's basketball. Stetson climbed the mountain by beating FGCU in the regular season, but couldn't get to the very, very top of the highest mountain by beating them for the ASUN title. The same case now with FGCU. They climbed one mountain, beating UNF in the regular season. This is the highest mountain.
Well, from a coach's perspective, you'd much rather win the tournament that takes to the dance, because being conference champion is nice, but going to the NCAA tournament is even a lot nicer. And I think the Eagles would say, "Hey, Stetson, you have the season championship in basketball. The Eagles got to go to the dance." So I think both teams want to go to the dance.
Will the third time be the charm for FGCU? We asked it a few moments ago. Not a lot of seniors on these teams. In fact, one for FGCU, two for UNF. So don't be surprised if you see one or both of these teams on this date in 2018.
What you're seeing is, Coach Cobra and Coach Vernon, they are recruiting well, and they're filling in the holes that they need. And once again, let's see who can shake off the cobwebs early, because when you have a no-ad, one set, there's no time. This is a sprint.
Well, also, now we're obviously very aware of the weather because, we have a full day of broadcasting both the women's and the men's championship. But don't you think the players are also aware that, there's a fairly small window to get in this women's championship before it's going to rain again? And the window may be so small that all that they get in is the doubles right now.
Well, I think that what you have to do is stay in the moment, take care of business, and then react to whatever happens.
And the number one doubles match is underway with the Ospreys serving first. And a forehand winner for FGCU.
Well, I tell you what, Ascua's forehand is a brutal weapon.
It's Julia Ascua and Julianna Curtis for FGCU against Louise Intert, and they call her Q, Quetzal Vasquez.
Now, you notice, David, both net people are looking to try to get over there to create some kind of maybe a volley or a poach.
And the heavy topspin backhand created the short ball, and now FGCU's up love 30.
On Julianna Curtis yesterday in singles, David, under pressure, that overhead of hers was money because she took 3 balls out of the air with massive pressure to clinch that match.
Ascua and Curtis played very well yesterday, winning their set 6-1.
Now, what you saw there was a little Australian formation to try to negate maybe a cross-court shot. But right now, FGCU has 4 break chances here to get that 1-0 lead.
Don't have chance in doubles, have a feeling out process. Even in a best of 3 match, you have a little bit of opportunity. And the first 4 points of the match in the first game go to the FGCU team of Ascua and Curtis. And so the Eagles with an early break in the number 1 doubles as the women's ASUN championship is underway. And we're back. Court 1, number 1 doubles teams going at it. And the Eagles have won the first 5 points of this match.
Well, they're trying to get a toehold on this. The Eagles they're on serve here on court 2, although we can't see that with Ornberg to serve down 0-1.
Six points in a row for the Eagles to start this match.
What it looks like, David, is that North Florida just really hasn't really gotten into a flow, and that can be devastating when you're playing no ad scoring and a set to 6.
These teams paired up against one another 8 days ago, and Ascua and Curtis won the set 6-4.
See, and that's only one break.
Well, the poacher didn't do a good job in that point. Missed the poach and then a weak volley.
Yeah, you got to put that ball away, and I think sometimes when you are staying back, if that net person can sort of mess with your head or also cross over, they can create some problems there.
Ospreys with their first point of this match. Nice backhand down the line by Intert.
Now, even though she made that shot, that is not a high percentage shot. It really isn't. But, hey, when it goes in, you're happy, but it can create problems if you think you can live off that line.
Keeps the poacher, though, at home, though.
Yes, it does. So sometimes you can send a message by saying, hey, if you're going to poach, I'm going to go down there.
So quickly 30 all. Good wide serve. And 3 in a row for the Ospreys and a chance, 2 of them now, to get the break back.
And there's a saying in tennis, it's not a break unless you hold. So the Eagles, in order to solidify that break, they've got to hold here.
Both players moving in for UNF. Beautiful topspin lob.
Smart shot there by Curtis. The Ospreys had taken over the net, and the lob goes over their head. Now, this is game point. So both teams, obviously, it looks as though it's going to go to Q. So the Eagles are going to talk about where they want to serve, and then Q's going to want to get this ball back in play.
These are the points that determine matches. They're feeding Curtis's backhand down the line to even the match.
Well, see, one of the things that happened there was this, David. That's high ball, didn't have enough on it. And Q's forehand, large margin of error. Even if Ascua had a chance to ball that, she was going to pop it up. So, hey, they had dug a hole. North Florida's dug out of the hole, and now it's 1-1.
And you talked about game plan a few moments ago in our open, and it seems as if the game plan there is to go soft to Curtis's backhand.
Yes. The other thing, I was at practice the other day watching the Eagles practice, and North Florida, you'll see David will take that short ball and try to really put the pressure on the net person.
Backhand's on the line. Oh, guess it was ruled out.
Yeah, nobody questioned it. So one of the things for the viewing audience is this, is that in order for you to question a call, you have to make sure that you have to ask the chair. You can't question it. You got to ask the chair, and then they can make an overrule.
First close call in this match. 15 all. Hard forehand. Did it catch the line?
I think she called it out. And we'll see here. It's just a little wide.
And so
No,
Intert and Vasquez now 2 points away. Louise Intert serving is a junior out of Germany.
Now, see, it's really funny. Q sort of started to move and then didn't move. You got to make a decision and act. I'd rather see someone make an aggressive mistake than just sort of be halfway in between there.
Quetzali Vasquez, they call her Q, a senior from Mexico City, Mexico.
Watched her in singles yesterday. She's a baller.
Well, you saw her win 6-1, 6-love.
Yeah, it was
Short slice, and FGCU has 2 chances to get back on top.
Julianna Curtis has an outstanding overhead, and you've seen it. 2 she's put away, and I referenced yesterday the 3 that she put away to win that singles match. Oh, now you know Q wants that volley back.
Boy, a sitter, and she missed it. And so FGCU 3 breaks in this match, but it's the Eagles with the 2-1 lead.
It looks like who can never hold serve is going to win this match.
Well, especially as you mentioned, if you can back it up, it's not really
Right.
a hold until you
get-
consolidate
You
the
got to
break.
consolidate it.
Psychologically, the doubles, is it more important for one team over the other? Because my gut reaction, since FGC is the one trying to climb the mountain here, that this point is more valuable to the Eagles.
I think that I would agree with you there because, once again, as you're trying to climb the mountain, you want to send a message immediately that we are here, we want to challenge you, and holding serve and winning the doubles point does that message.
3rd straight year, Eagles and Ospreys in the finals. UNF winning 4-1 in 2015, 4-2 in 2016. But the Eagles 8 days ago, with their first ever win against UNF, period, anywhere, anytime, first ever win against the Ospreys.
Well, I think it just shows, what Courtney Vernon has built. But also, I'll tell you what, with Coach Cobra, what she has done to sustain the powerhouse that North Florida has been in women's tennis. I mean, she replaced a legend, Audra Cohen, who just was inducted into the Miami Tennis Hall of Fame, and Audrey is now coaching at Oklahoma. So both these women have done great jobs with the tennis programs.
Let cord there, but the backhand goes long. 15-love Eagles. You mentioned Mariana Cobra, the head coach for UNF in her first year, came to the Ospreys by way of Idaho, winning 2 Big Sky titles in 2 years.
Yeah, she's used to winning championships.
And they're used to winning championships at UNF. Nice move there.
See, once again, a net person is critical for the server to hold. A good net person can make a server, even an average server, really very good.
Well, the Eagles got up 30-love in their last service game, and the Ospreys broke back. And a double fault.
See, sometimes in doubles, it's not about the pace of the serve, David. It's placement. So I think Julia needs to, let's talk about what is the weakness, whether it's the deuce court or the ad court, and let's go 80% and make them have to hit a return.
Julianna Curtis is a junior from Tampa. Julia Escua is a sophomore from Argentina. Oh, just reached out.
Now, see, that's the fact that they're aware that North Florida has a propensity to go down the line. Curtis was sort of waiting. She was waiting for it and found an excellent volley to go up 40-15, try to solidify their break.
And the first big serve of the match down the tee.
Man.
3-1 Eagles.
You know, Julia has a nice serve, and I think, you know, that was probably up around maybe 85, 89
And
miles
the
an
first
hour.
big serve. At 5-5, she was able to still get good angle on that.
No, very much.
To be able to get that torque and that power.
And the thing is, you know, you got to hit up on the serve, and she hit up and made excellent contact.
Well, Vasquez, who was broken in her first service game. All important hold here. Setting them. And the match can get away from you pretty quickly.
No, very much so. I'm amazed at the number of first serves, David, that both teams are serving to the forehand. Because when you serve to the forehand in doubles, unless you pull the person off the court or jam them, you have created an angle that can have potential problems for the person at the baseline.
Well, you mentioned all those serves to the forehand. They went to the backhand there, but then missed the.
I think it's low 30. I think that ball was long.
I thought it was long too, so it's 15 all.
Once again, Australian formation to sort of create confusion for the returner. Now, that was a nice serve, David. Huge kicker up the tee that created problems. The return to serve in the deuce court, that is in the backhand, that is the hardest return in tennis. And Q really bent that like Beckham on that one.
Oh, Martina Navratilova always used to talk about heavy topspin. You move the returner and the baseliner so far back off the baseline that they either have to go for a hero shot or they can't get much on it.
Nice volley there by Innert.
But the overhead not put away, and the Eagles able to go down the line even at a 30 all.
Good point there. Good doubles being played on all these courts there.
UNF to me looks as if they're changing pace more. They use
Yes.
more spin. They throw more soft stuff at the Eagles than I think FGCU is throwing at the Ospreys.
No, they're sort of mixing up the pace and timing that's creating some issues for the Eagles.
Beautiful slice serve.
Now, see, once again, Q had gone up the tee the time before, but you notice where that ball broke. That broke about 4.5 feet up the line, David. They gave the Eagles no chance of returning it.
You know, two chances here for a big hold for Intert and Vasquez to stay within a break.
I tell you what a nice service game by Q.
After being broken at love first time around,
She
the
said-
Ospreys.
She said, no, not this time.
Well, the doubles team of Luis Intert and Q Vasquez, 13-6 on the season, and 5-2 in ASUN play, including the win yesterday against NJI2.
Very solid doubles team.
And meanwhile, the team of Askewa and Curtis, 20-8 on the season, if you include all matches, 4-1 in ASUN play. And remember, when they met 8 days ago, it was Askewa and Curtis 6-4.
And that's only one break, so the serve is critical. Can the Eagles sustain that here?
Well, and if everybody holds serve the rest of the way, that would be the score of this set.
Once again, for people watching, I think we said this a little earlier, but your placement of the serve is sometimes more important than power. Doubles is the higher you kick, the farther you can get into the net to use the volley.
A defensive volley there by Intert, but it ends up turning into a winning point for the Ospreys. Curtis, who was broken in her first service game. And that one a little bit long, but you could see. And then UNF started, even though they lost that first game of the match at Love, they tried a lot of the high, soft slices and the big looping topspin lobs. I mean, that's clearly their game plan, is to not go pace against pace.
And what happens is sometimes when you go underspin or moon ball, you can extract a short ball, and then your net player can put the ball away. Now, first serve there for the Eagles. In men's NCAA tennis, you have to play the let. There's
John McEnroe has been advocating for that since he was a player at Stanford.
I agree with him. I mean, you play lets on everything. That's the only time you don't play a let, which...
Of course, I can date myself here. I always think of, beautiful backhand winner by Q.
Q has really solidified North Florida's return to being back in this match. Their service game, and then that was even though she went down the line, David, that ball had enough pace. Even if the Eagles would have got there, it was probably going to pop it up.
And a short ball, and this time, Pascua takes care of it.
See, in my preference, whether it's men's or women's tennis, is that you got to get in the net, because if you have a net person that's active and her partner is giving you balls that are giving them short balls, if you're going to lose the point, get up to the net, because if you miss it a ball, you might hit a winner. Now, this is what I love. You see the two players talking, maybe where they want to put the serve, maybe what they want to do. Number one, it lets your partner sort of relax, and then you execute a game plan.
Tried to go wide and missed. A little breezy, but not as breezy as it's been in Southwest Florida. One of the few defensive plays by FGCU in the match.
You see their overhead there? Julianna puts away the overhead to give the Eagles the ad. Once again, your net player can really help.
And it was the soft, heavy topspin shot that set up the short return.
Yes.
And then the overhead put away.
And it takes some pressure off the server.
And so now the 5'8" junior out of Tampa, Julianna Curtis, 2 opportunities to hold.
Now this is where Julie has to be ready for them to take that ball down the line at her.
Q guessed down the line. Would have had a sitter. Intert came in, but netted the volley.
Oh, she would want that one back, David. She's a very good volleyer. 3-all. This is a nice, tight match.
4-2.
Or 4-2, I'm sorry, David.
FGCU. Consolidating the break, keeping the pressure on Louise Intert.
And this is where you can really start to field if you're intert, because this is a huge, huge game for the Ospreys.
Good serve into the body. 15 love.
And you pointed that out, David, about the serve into the body. Sometimes that is the best serve because you don't let people stretch out and create angles.
Skua and Curtis cross there.
Moving, a lot of movement. Good overhead there.
And once again, the heavy, soft topspin shot to the back corner got a short response and an easy put away at the net. FGCU giving North Florida a little taste of their own medicine here.
No, very much. Extracted in there. See, once again, David, what Askew did, she went down the line, good margin, but it's to the backhand volley. Even if Q would have hit that ball, it probably was going to be a ball, it was going to be a short ball. So good margin of error. She got the air, the shot that they wanted.
It's the first time on that side that either Eagles player has gone down the line.
Right. Sort of caught Q off guard there.
Missed the overhead.
She'd want that one back.
Would have been 2-3 break points. Would have been 15-40.
And what happens there for players watching, I don't care, college, recreation, you have to concentrate every shot because she had not missed an overhead to that point. Got to move your feet and keep your eyes on the prize, which is that yellow thing called the ball.
Big break for Intert and Vasquez to be a 30 all. Skua and Intert playing their own match within a match. And then down the line, Skua with a forehand.
Well, see, they're flipping the switch on what North Florida likes to do is go down the line. It's a break point here for the Eagles, trying to take a stranglehold on this number one court, doubles.
2 chances to break for the Eagles. Backhands long to deuce, and the deciding point. So almost feels like a match point for North Florida.
And I agree with you there, David. So Julia Skua in the deuce court here. Now they're saying where they want to return the ball.
Trading forehands. Caught the line. Down the line. Was it wide? I believe it was wide. Just missed it. So the Ospreys with a deep sigh, but a big hold.
A big sigh.
Skua and Curtis had 2 break points to lead 5-2. To court 3 we go.
It looks like they just clinched it down there, David.
FGCU's pairing of Kelly and Forster beat
Valdez and Gartner.
6-1, which is a huge turnaround from 8 days ago when Valdez and Gartner beat them 6-4.
Hey, another day, another result. Well, David, this is now coming down to courts 1 and 2. Who can get the next point and solidify the doubles victory for their teams? David, our officials, Kathy Keenan is the official on court number 1. Jim Natalie is in the chair on court 2, and Fernando Huerto is in the chair on court number 3.
So the FGCU team of Sarah Kelly and Bridget Forster winning their doubles match. And so if Ascua and Curtis can hold serve 2 more times, the Eagles will take home the all-important doubles point.
Huge overhead there by the Eagles.
Curtis right down the middle. If you're just joining us, the match has started 3 hours late because of morning rain. There is rain in the forecast for later this afternoon for a 2 to 3 hour period, and then it is supposed to be clear pretty much for the rest of the week. Down the line. And the slice worked. 30 love.
Askew and Curtis there. A little slice, a little Vegematic there, David.
Well, the Skua went down the line off the backhand, which opened up the court. And a big serve down the middle. Second one down the tee in this match by Ascua. And the Eagles have 4 chances
Askew
to lead 5-3.
Both Q and Askewa's serves have been factors in this match, David. And Askew is really stepping up with her serve.
Another one down the tee. Drop shot. And the Eagles hold serve at love. And they're a game away from winning the all-important doubles point.
Askew hits a dreaded dropper.
You don't see that much in doubles, do you?
Well, we haven't seen him much at all the last couple of days, but that was a great time to execute it. And obviously the Ospreys had not seen a drop shot. And Askew, clay court players used to hitting that shot, I'm sure.
So the Ospreys needing to hold to stay in the match.
I tell you what, you got the right person serving the cue. That's a huge serve wide.
You know, a couple of early serves down the tee has really opened up that wide serve for Vasquez.
Well, the thing is also she has the ability to break that off up the line where even if you get it, it's going to be a setter for the net person. I mean, when you see her toss, she's using her legs, and she's really accelerating up on the serve, which just an excellent service motion.
And it shows you once again at 5'4". I mean, you know, ideally you'd be taller, but you could still be an effective server. Big looping forehand. I believe it caught the line.
Yes, it did. You know, you have to be almost 6'9", 6'10", or taller to hit down on the serve. The rest of the world has to hit up on the serve. And so especially in women's tennis, because there's only been like 10 women who've ever dominated with the serve, one of them being Serena Williams. And everyone else has to hit up.
15 all. And that's long.
Now see what happened there, David? The fact that Julianna Curtis hit that volley sort of took Q's eyes off the ball, and she tried to do a little too much than she had to.
The Eagles have already won 1 doubles match. So they are 2 points away from winning this match and the doubles point. And a big forehand down the middle. And 3 match points for the Eagles doubles team of Ascua and Curtis.
And let me tell you why I like that shot, David. Going down the middle, it now makes the person hitting the ball have to decide where they want to go with their shot. If you pull them wide, right or left, you have created an angle for them.
Vasquez to serve, down 15-40. And that'll do it. Curtis poached. Intert couldn't respond. And the Eagles, after winning the third doubles match 6-1, win the first doubles match 6-3. 2 matches in the books. And the Eagles get the doubles point and lead North Florida 1-0, heading to the 6 singles matches which are to follow.
Travel is a journey that opens up a world of possibility, where a room revolves around you. An app becomes your personal concierge, and you can experience what's next and even help create it. Travel is about where you're going. Let's go together. Marriott. Travel brilliantly.
Eight days ago, when FGCU beat North Florida for the first time, they won the crucial doubles point. They do it again to start the ASUN Championship. You are looking at Courtney Vernon, the fourth-year head coach for FGCU, who Jay Webb has a major decision to make here because their number one player has been sick all week and has been unable to play singles yesterday. Did just compete in the doubles, Maya Ornberg. But does she put her in at number one singles, or does she take her out and have to move everyone up a spot in the lineup?
Well, it looks as though we've seen nothing yet. As the FGCU tennis sign is blurring our vision of court number one.
Now, yesterday, Ornberg competed in doubles, and she and Brianna Stampley were losing 5-1, but the other 2 teams clinched their matches, and so that match was not completed, and that was it. Ornberg did not play in singles. Everybody moved up a spot. FGCU was able to get by Stetson 4-1. Ornberg did lose to Valdez in singles 8 days ago, but she lost in both a second and third set tiebreaker in a very close match.
Well, I'm looking here, David, and it looks like Askew right now is on court number 3. So